Hi guys. I would say maybe I'm halfway through with this project. So I have my little cast iron elements with the cast in place stones all set, sanded, ground, polished up to the level of finish that I was going for. So then now all that I have to do is make my little housing for them, or well, maybe bracket isn't the right word. It's like a setting. So I've got some sterling silver wire here. This is 12 gauge sterling silver wire, and this is, hold on, let me check. Oh, actually, no. This is 14 gauge sterling silver wire, and this guy is 16 gauge sterling silver wire. And so from the thicker sterling silver wire, I'm going to make a circle, like a complete circle, solder it together. And from this smaller wire, I'm going to cut little posts that will be soldered inside of the circle. And then they're going to kind of capture this and suspend it in the middle of the circle. This is the part that I've been looking forward to, so let's get to work on that. When in doubt, it's always good to make a sample in a base material. So I just got this 16 gauge copper. These are not gonna end up being very long. So it's gonna be my best interest to cut this oversized. So that's like way more than I'm gonna need, which is kind of nice. We're looking at 17 millimeters. Okay. And I want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on each. All right. So we got 15, 16, 17. I mean, maybe I should cut them at 20. Yeah, let's do that. It's going to be great. Now that I have all of my little like prongs cut, I have to figure out how big the circle is going to be. And so I'm going to use a piece of fire brick. I'm going to get a piece of fire brick. Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to put my little piece on the fire brick and then insert these prongs in to the fire brick. I'm using a pair of pliers just basically to save my fingers. I'm just gonna put 4 in. There's gonna be 8 prongs, but I'm just trying to get the size. We're doing like an estimation. Here, I'll show you a close-up shot of me inserting this into the fire brick. Ooh. And I've got 3 already inserted in the fire brick. And then I've got my 4th one held in the pliers, and this is just an estimation. When I go to solder them, I'm probably gonna measure a little bit more accurately, like where they will be in the whole like north, south, east, west sort of situation. But right now, if it's a little off, it doesn't really matter because the circumference will still be the same. I've got a little circle template situation going on, and I'm just gonna, let's see, 7/8. Is that it? Oh, that might be the one that we want. Drops right down in there. I don't think that 13/16 is going to be enough space. We're going for a circle in this larger diameter wire that the inner diameter of the circle is going to be the 7/8. Let's see. Oh, it's cold. Oh, let's see, we said 7/8. Ah, so it's like, I've got another one though, just a second. This one, what do you guys think of that? Oh, right, look at that, 7/8. And so what I'm gonna do is rummage around and find a Sharpie, and I'm gonna make a little Sharpie mark on my mandrel. It's okay. It'll come off with a little bit of acetone. I'm just gonna coil this around my mandrel and make 2 circles. I would rather have it be a little bit oversized, and then I can always bring it smaller. But then again, if it is undersized, I can hammer it out and kind of stretch it a little bit. So the stakes are very low at this point. Dare I try it? So now what I have got to do is I've got to cut these two apart, because see, there's two, and so one is for this one and one is for that one. So you know how I'm going to cut it? It's going to make some of you cringe, but I'm going to cut it using my jeweler's saw. I can tell already some of you are like, why would she even do that? I mean, some of y'all might be jewelers and you might be like, yeah, obvious choice. I'm going to put my safety glasses on before y'all yell at me. I've already got a saw blade on here. It's probably a 2/0. One. So we've got my 2 circles. You know, it comes off and it's a little bit offset from itself. And so I just kind of bend it a little bit the opposite way. The natural spring of the metal will spring itself back right in line. Now I've got a little bit of burrs and stuff, but I mean, I'm gonna have to file that solder seam after I solder it anyways, or at least sand it. Let's go over to the solder station. Come on. I'm gonna hold the circle in this and I'm gonna put flux on it. And then I'm gonna put a little tiny pallion of hard solder on it. See, I got my little solder seam and I fluxed it and I have a little pallion of hard solder and now I'm gonna solder it. Does it sound good? Is that enough explanation for right now? Okay. Nice. And then I quench it in a dish of water. And now I'm gonna put it in the pickle. You know, I also just thought maybe I should put all of those little prongs in the pickle also, so they can be pickling. So they're ready for when I'm gonna solder them. It'll clean off all of that oxidation. They're ready to come out of the pickle now. And I'm gonna rinse them in some water. All right, now we gotta see how our little circles made out. They might not be perfectly round, so we're gonna go round them out on the mandrel. I've got all my little pieces of wire, and you can see that they were quite oxidized, so the pickle has just cleaned that oxidation off of them. And these rings I'm gonna look at on this mandrel. And I've got this sweet little rawhide hammer that I'm just gonna oh, this one was right bullseye. Unfortunately for this one, we overshot our mark quite a bit. So I just need to make this ring a little bit smaller. So I'm gonna cut it. Now I'm gonna bend it just a little. I mean, there isn't much that we're having to come in. Right there looks good. See that? Right on the line. That's it. That's all that was making it too big. So I'm just gonna cut that off, and obviously you can see that's where the solder seam is. I'm gonna cut the seam and then all that extra solder. Ready to be soldered once again.